Hi, everybody. It's Jessica Mokiver here with Jill Sheehan again from Empire Charter Consultants. We're continuing our reflections of Jill's 27 years in the charter school movement. And today we have two reflections, memories shared by Kelly Cadman. So Jill is going to tell us first who Kelly is. Then we're going to read a reflection, and Jill's going to let us know a little bit about how that cemented their friendship. So Jill, just tell us who Kelly is.
When we worked at the association, everybody knows about the National Alliance Conference every year, normally held in June, towards the end of June. Super inconvenient time, by the way, in case they're listening. Like, schools are ending, people just can't leave their school. So I used to have to go to the master's classes. And sometimes Andrea went with me, sometimes she didn't. But I met like this amazing group of women in the charter school world. And she is from Georgia. Uh, she worked at the association. So she was like the me at her association.
Okay.
I think, right, because I come across, I don't know why, I don't even know what this means, but like very New York. I get that, like you're very New York. So I take a minute to get used to, but then like some people just take right to it. And Kelly is genuinely this kind, loving, big-hearted person. And so there were a few incidents that really like cemented us for life. And then after my dad died, I think it was like months later, like she was still texting me, making sure how I was. And she sent me a cookbook, a Georgia cookbook, like biscuits. But she actually took the time and went through every recipe and like crossed out margarine and is like, no, girl, use butter. Right? Like it is, I don't even take it out of my cabinet because I don't ever want it to get dirty or like I have to keep it forever because the comments are hilarious. And so she was another charter school person. She left her association. I think she worked for a group short term and then she opened her own business, Hive 180. I had people calling me from Georgia and I was like, oh, let me introduce you to Kelly Cadman. And in some cases, she knew them. So I trust her with work completely. She's everything we want in the charter school world and comes down to it the same way I would say we do, which is how is this going to help kids? So she's one of those rare lucky finds in the friendship. That's why I met her.
That's awesome. So you're gonna have to tell us a little bit about more about this, but her first memory. So she says she starts out, my most favorite memories of Jill include a dead fish and a blubbering charter school consultant. So the first one is years ago when we both supported our respective associations, we used to attend these National Alliance master classes with our colleagues across the country. It was a great space to learn and laugh and commiserate. We loved going out for supper together and unwinding. And one fine evening, our NAPCS leader friend planned a dinner at a Chinese restaurant. Now, I have a pretty plain palate, and evidently Jill does too. So when they sat this whole fish laying on a platter with its creepy eyeball staring up at us both, we locked eyes, poorly hid our disgusted faces, and we're forever friends.
Everybody else was so excited, Jess. Like, and it was this authentic restaurant, and they bring out the fish.
Nope.
And those meetings also become clicky in the best of ways because right every state is at a different place. And I don't even know. I think I was sitting with some of the alliance people, but they bring out the food and we're both looking around to catch each other's eyes. And it's like, and so everybody waits until the whole dinner. I don't think I ate anything. I drank like 4 glasses of iced tea. And everyone was so excited about the meal. And Kelly and I kind of connected at the end, and we were talking about the room service menu. Like we were going back to our rooms to order room service. And it was such a weird bonding moment. But from that moment, I was like, I get her. Like I get her with all of my heart, and I do.
That's just a very odd choice for a group. Like it's just like if you're going to a restaurant where you specifically know you're ordering fish and it's maybe in like a country where I mean like I've been there where like they will serve you the whole thing, but that's a strange choice I think for a group
So
dinner.
I think that people think everybody is like excited to try new and different things. I just want anyone who knows me to fully understand. I would go to a diner only. I am so basic when it comes to food. I don't even like Italian food. Do you remember that? I don't even like Italian. I don't like red sauce. I, I am so basic. If somebody says, "Oh, do you want to go out for burgers?" I'm genuinely excited. Do you want to go out for chicken wings? Yes. Oh, do you want to go out for Thai food? No. I don't want to go. I don't want to go out for sushi. Oh, you would love sushi. I wouldn't love sushi. I can already tell you. And people make comments. They're like, oh, you would like this place. Do they cook it? No, then I wouldn't like it. I've been to hibachi twice, right, in my entire life. And I'm just like, uh, I don't get it. I just give me a steak, give me a baked potato.
You
Like,
know your tastes. Like,
well,
yeah.
I I am sure it's all delicious. By the way, I'm sure the eyeball fish was delicious. It looked like everybody else was eating it. By the way, we're also convinced there was an eyeball in the soup. That's an entirely different
God, oh my
story.
God.
But like
That's just
I
an odd
get
choice for a group.
give me chicken pot pie. Give me yeah, I eat Chinese food before anybody like rates me. I'm just I like basic food. It makes me happy to have basic food. If I find out I can make shake and bake pork chops, I'm there for it. Like this is basic. And I think it's because we grew up, like my mom was a phenomenally good cook. A lot of it was Italian. And when I grew up, I was like, I don't have to eat that anymore.
You had like had too much of it during your whole
Yeah.
childhood, and then you're like, I escape. Yeah.
And you know the worst part? When I go to somebody's house, they're like, I'm making Italian.
You're like, no.
Fudge. And
But
then they
that
bring out a
just,
meatball that's this big, and I'm like, I hate people.
I
Like,
wonder how many other people at that dinner were faking it. And you and Kelly were like, we can't.
I remember texting Bill Phillips, like, oh my God, I have to order room service. I'm putting it on the credit card. Like, he understood. He's been with me. Like, if this is true, if you give me a choice and we're here together, give me a diner.
We've been to some good diners.
I
I
love a
feel
good
like,
diner.
yeah, like whenever we needed to discuss anything with our old boss, I think we'd like go to a diner.
Even
But
order
um,
pizza. Like,
yeah, do things that you know are group people pleaser, like group pleasers. Like
but everybody else did look like they were enjoying it, but Kelly and I looked like we were taken as
you were like,
hostages in, in it.
well, that's a, I mean, I was like, wow, that's a memory. The other one, I will now pivot and you can explain more of this one to us. So she said her second memory was more recent. She had just, I'll read from her perspective. I had just shifted to a new job working for a longtime acquaintance of us both. It was a hard change for me and really not a great match, I had discovered. I was struggling personally with my health and not in a great physical or headspace and completely miserable in this new job. I was questioning everything about my ability to do the job and just felt utterly demoralized. So I called Jill. I just knew she would be objective and honest and help me work through my professional ails, and she did. I blubbered a bit, a lot, and she listened. And then she just told me what I needed to hear to gain my confidence back and to make some hard decisions. She just has this way of cutting to the bone in a way that helps you see things more clearly. She's sincere, dependable, miles deep, and wide in knowledge, and such a dear friend who I adore. How nice is that?
That makes me want to cry.
It's so nice.
Um,
So tell us what, can you elaborate a little bit on that
I
conversation and what you
think
told her?
Kelly knows her job as well as a person in the charter school world can know their job. right? Georgia was its own beast. We were in New York. You would think there's not a lot of similarities, but there obviously is. And I think, by the way, she also founded a school. Like, to be very clear, she founded a school. She believes, like we do, in there can be schools in suburbia, charter schools. We don't care, right? Put schools where families want them. And so she became part of a consulting team, a woman that we both know who I genuinely like the woman. I'm probably too much like her to ever work for that woman, but she wanted to get back into the work in a more profound way. And I think we all realize at some point that the work we want to do is very far removed from the work we are actually doing. And you don't want to let people down, right? She's not going to let this friend down. She signed on. She definitely jumped in with 2 feet. I know some of the schools she worked with when she worked with this person, they loved her. Then you get to this point where, but this is also not what I want to do, right? Like, we had the ability, I think, me, you, and Andrea, when we were at Nexon, to really realize what we didn't want to do, right? She didn't have that. She went from an association. I think she went to work for the school a bit again, then got into consulting. And then it's a conversation about, one, you have to admit something's not working out, which can be devastating when you've tried so hard.
Mhm.
But secondly, where do I fit in this charter school world? And when you listen to somebody else who you know has lived your life in a different state, right? You're the number two in an organization. You are the person everyone knows. So when you go to consult, you still have that mindset of how much you can offer. When that's limited, there's a lot of frustration. So her answer was, and she knew what the answer was, she knows and loves Georgia. She decided to open this business, Hive. She was so excited to tell me she was opening it. And it's that moment when you can say something to a friend and you know they already know the answer, which is you're really not going to be happy unless you're doing the work that motivated you in the first place to get involved in charter schools. Right? That's our motivator. Why did we all get into this? And she launched Hive. I actually got a call from a group in Georgia. They wanted to open a school. She wound up knowing the person. And so I trust her enough to have that somebody calls me, I'm happy to hand over the work if it's in Georgia. Could we do it? Maybe, but I wouldn't want to do it without her. And by the way, she is also very direct and honest. She's just really nice about it and has a Southern accent. So it sounds prettier when she says, you're just dysfunction, right? Like she's that person. So I will always be supportive of any woman doing this work, and man, who are mission and vision aligned, and they're doing it for the reason of this is going to help kids. And she's that person. And by the way, I think Kelly could tell you this too, in a sea full of people that we used to meet, there were constants. She was always there. I was always there. Mary Carmichael, Kendall from Mary Carmichael at the time was with South Carolina. Kendall, she's with Delaware. So you would see the same group of women time and time again. And I think once we start watching, Kendall's still with Delaware, right? I'm still working in New York. Mary went to work for a school, a charter school in South Carolina. And now Kelly's doing her charter school work there. She comes at it just so honestly, and she's genuinely she's genuinely so sweet, but she's equally as direct, right? She just again with the Southern drawl, two thumbs up. What did she's the one who taught me the words hot mess. I think it was like years ago we were at a meeting and she goes, "Oh, they're a hot mess." And I couldn't stop laughing because I'd never heard that expression, right? But I'm talking years ago, long before I heard anyone else say it. But she's also the one who taught me like, let me let you go. Like all the nice Southern ways
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
stop.
Like, bless your heart.
Yeah, bless her heart. Yeah.
Love it.
She's so great. Does she have another reflection?
Those were the two. She said she adores you.
I adore Kelly, and Kelly was the first one I told a story to, if I can share it. Working in the charter school world when so many leaders are women, it's always weird when you go into associations and most of the leaders are men, right? And there were a group of charter school men um, who used to just call me Bill's girl. They knew my
Ugh.
name.
Oh, God.
But I would walk through, like, say I was going to meet somebody for a drink, I'd walk through a bar and they'd be like, "Oh, Bill's girl."
Oh, my God.
And I had enough, right? Like at some point, and I remember telling Bill, and he's like, "Oh, ignore them, blah, blah, blah." By the way, I'm presenting at the master's classes, I'm giving good information. One of the guys actually gave a problem they had getting new applicants. I'm like, "Well, why aren't you talking about replication? And if you're talking about replication here, do it 3 hours away here." Like, he's like, "Oh, I never thought of it." So I was giving ideas that were mine, not Bill's, right? In a general conversation in these master's classes. And they were relentless. Bill's girl, Bill's girl.
Yuck.
And I get off an elevator one night. There's an event at a bar on the top of a restaurant. I remember where we are. We're in Denver. I'm very sorry to say this. Denver makes me sick. I don't know if it's my lung capacity. I don't
Oh,
know
like
what it is.
altitude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I absolutely can't breathe anywhere in Denver.
Okay.
So I get off the elevator and I remember I was at the master's classes, left, went to my hotel room, had like two video calls. Then I'm on the elevator up and by the way, that's when video calls weren't really popular. So when you had one, like everything that could go wrong with video calls went wrong. And they're at the bar and they go, "Bill's girl." And I look at one of the guy, I go, "Oh, hey, Phil." And he goes, "My name's Bill." And I go, "Right, mine is Jill. Stop calling me Bill's girl."
Oh, that's so outdated. Oh, my God.
So two of these guys are no longer in the charter school world, whether I don't know what the hell happened to the guy that I called Phil. He's gone. And the other guy recently retired. But one of the guys is actually still prominent in the charter school world. And recently I was asked about him. And I said, "He's a misogynist piece of shit." And it came out, and it was to somebody fairly prominent. And I was like, "Misogynist, rude to women." And they were like, "Oh, but he's really good at his job."
Nope.
And I was like, "He's probably good at his job if he can talk down to women."
Yeah.
So I said this, and then I saw the guy at the national conference, and he saw me. He saw me. There wasn't even a pretense that I was going to talk to him. Like he looked like he was going to approach me, and I went Jill face. Like, approach me. I'm right. Like, please approach me. Please approach me. And I recognized that it was always easier for people. And I actually told Kelly this story. So after she left her association, right? I had this conversation with her and she felt so badly. She knew all the guys. And she said, "But we also warned you." Kelly was one of 5 women in the charter school world who took me aside and said, your boss takes credit for your work.
Ugh.
And I was like, I don't think so, because I didn't think so. And they're like,
Ugh.
we really like you, but you should watch yourself with him. And I remember thinking, huh.
Hmm.
One of them actually went as far as to say, let's face it, if he ever leaves, he's never going to support you to get that job. You're too outspoken. And they were right. All
I'm
these years
sorry.
later, they tell me how right they were. But she was like
Men,
one of those group of women who's like, you can do this on your own. You'll be fine.
sorry to the good men who are watching, but men taking credit for women's work is like a tale as old as time, and we're not doing
I
that anymore. We're not doing that
and by the
anymore.
way, I'm not even
We're,
sure it was true.
mm,
I know. I get that a lot now. And everybody's like, well, you're successful because you're still doing your work. But they were the women who were like, you don't need this person to do your job.
yeah, they make you think that you do, but then you realize you really don't.
And they said, you have no power. But if he leaves, you're never going to be the boss. And they were right. But for a
So it
lot of
sounds
reasons,
like,
right? Like I wasn't looking to make friends when I was at my last job.
no, but it sounds like you and Kelly both have each other's backs, and that's really important. It's really important in any field, but especially all of the ones that are male dominated,
But
which
Kelly
is,
also gave me a cookbook that taught me how to make real Southern biscuits.
yeah. And like margarine instead of butter is never a good idea. Butter always has to be the thing.
Correct, right?
But
So
yeah.
yeah, I love Kelly. Thank you so much, Kelly. All I
Yeah.
can
Thank
think
you,
of is
Kelly.
us making like it solidified everything.
That's
That
a
one
really,
moment.
it's funny how like something like that can stick with you forever.
You know what though? All of my relationship with these female leaders from other associations was like born over food. Like Mary Carmichael and I went to breakfast and she asked the waiter for like cheese on her scrambled eggs. And I was like, I can get cheese on my scrambled. Right. So that's our story of it's just very odd. It's all so odd. Yeah.
Oh, food brings people together.
Yeah, just not fish heads with eyes. The eyes were staring at us like
Ugh.
this.
Yeah, no, I have to be like ready to and knowing I'm getting something like that. That's not.
So, by the way, it was also authentic Chinese. They didn't give cookies at the end because they're
Ugh.
like, that's an American thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I would have eaten the cookie though. Like, I would have even eaten the paper inside at that point.
Well, thank you to Kelly for the
Thanks,
video,
Kelly. I love
for
you.
the memories. All right. Take care,
Thanks,
everyone. See you
Jess.
next time. Bye bye.